Welcome back to the fish room, people, and honestly a lot has happened since the last time I did a short little video. I think it was the video before this. So long story short, my mother came over from England, and I was pretty, like, you know, I wouldn't say like tight on time, but obviously I wanted to spend time with my mum that I haven't seen in a very long time. So I kind of held off on the project just a little bit. Now when she was over, she actually ended up she's the one that actually bought the floor, funny enough. So the floor was bought by her. She got me a nail gun, right? Because let me tell you, sticking this roofing up was an absolute pain. It was annoying. I was like screwing each panel in with a screw, and you'd put pressure on the screw and it would bite and then it would just fall out. So she ended up doing that. Obviously she said it was to make up for like all of the missed birthdays and all of the missed like Christmas, you know, days, all that kind of stuff. So she kind of spoiled me a little bit. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of things in this video, and we'll then just get cracking on everything else. The boards are actually going on quite easy. It's just very time consuming to put these up, you see, because it's just get down off the ladder, get more staples. I actually just ran out of staples. That's why I'm just kind of filming a quick little update here. So I would say from you know, this joist all the way down is actually completed as far as, like, you know, the insulation goes, and the roof and the boards and the soundboards. Like, I think it looks kind of decent. Now, this squiggly stuff is all going to be covered up because we're putting, obviously, the fake vines, and then we're putting fake plants up. I'm going to try and probably put some real plants in the corners that kind of droop down. I might put a couple, not a couple, but I actually might put like maybe a 30-gallon here and then a 30-gallon over here, just in case, because you know me, like I said before, I'll probably breed the Arowana, so I can obviously get some more Arowanas and maybe sell them, I don't know. But if I can have 2 tanks spare that's just being filtered, that's ready to go. If I can use one as like a sickness tank, or use one as like a breeder tank in case something does end up laying eggs and it does, you know, having fry. As far as the soundboard goes, you can kind of see where I stapled them. Like I said, you're not really going to see the staples as much as you think. It looks rough, but you know, this build is actually on a budget, so it's not that I'm paying like thousands of dollars. I think so far at this current stage with the board, everything in here throughout the whole videos that I've uploaded, I think out of pocket I might be on 500 bucks. And to me, 500 bucks to finish a structure that was just sitting in your yard, that was completely just kind of like not really being used, but maybe mainly for storage, and just getting some life out of something that's just been sitting there. This is a huge success to me personally. I can't wait to get the backboards on for the soundproofing for the side, and then obviously putting the board up here to seal that in. This is obviously still exposed because I've been so concentrated on all of this. I don't know why I do things the way I do. So I should have just kind of done all the walls and then worked on the roof and then worked on the boards. But I ended up doing like floor, sides, floor, roof, tank. Like, should have I built the tank stand already? No, but you know, like, you get really excited when you're in the closing point of everything being completed. You just, I don't know, man, you get excited. So the tank stand looks decent. I know in the previous video that you just saw, I said those were 2x4s. They're not. They're 2x6s and 2x8s. I'm sorry, I kind of get my math mixed up sometimes. I'm not exactly the smartest cookie. That light obviously isn't going to be going there. It's going to be going up top somewhere. I did notice the back of this tank is a lot better than the front. So you can kind of see like all those scratches. Look, there's a lot of them. So my missus said that's the last time I'm moving this tank, and she's probably going to be mad at me because I need to get this tank and spin it around, because I want the nicest panel of glass that's less scratched on the front, because the last thing you need is obviously a light being up here and then you seeing like all of these scratches. You know, it just doesn't look very well. And I don't think there's actually that many scratches on the back wall. I think the front is obviously the absolute worst, to be honest. But we'll see how that goes. I still haven't done anything on this side. We're literally right now just focused on getting the roof up, because then I can complete the roof, be done with it. And then obviously that's the hardest part, because the roof is in fact the hardest part to put up. It looks rough, like I said before, but it's done on a budget, and we're going to make it look decent. We're going to be getting an AC unit. If I haven't spoke about the AC unit, I was going to get a window one, but I thought, no, might as well spend another $100 and get the unit that I can possibly put on a wall somewhere. I don't quite know where I want to put it yet. I don't want to put it above a fish tank because it could possibly cool it and lower the temp of the water. Now, I know that I said that I was putting the sink in the middle, or I might not have said it, but the lady was like, you know, why don't we put the sink in the middle? Because I don't know what I'm doing, but I have two 50s, right? So I went through my tanks, I measured everything. Obviously, these are the 50s. That's a 55, that's a 125. So I have one more of these 50s that I think I might not use for this wall. I might be getting like 6 75s, I don't know yet, or I might just buy like 2 more or 4 more 50s and then do a rack of 50s right there, because I feel like a 50 gallon's a pretty, you know, decent sized tank because of the width. So like my angelfish or like my chidlet tank are gonna have enough room because I don't really get that big. And then I have like a 90 gallon outside that there's a trim. There's like the trim on the sides here. On the 90 outside, the left side trim's kind of not there. So I have trim on the front, back, and the side, but the left side is gone. So I don't know if that's gonna affect the tank at all if I use it without the trim. So I'm gonna have to try and find some trim that is similar to the trim on it, just so I don't, you know, make the weight of the tank off and it could blow out and break. So the plan is to either get 4 more 50s and do a rack of 50s, or get like 4 75s and do a rack of 75s. The tub is going to be going in the center of the 75s or 50s, and then the beta tank. So we actually do have almost all of the beta. I think we have like 9 beta tanks. They're 5.5 gallons. Obviously, I'll put a divider in the middle. I feel like, you know, 2.5 gallons, I feel like is a lot for a beta fish because people put them in really small tanks. I don't like that. Like we have a beta fish inside in a 20 gallon just chilling on his own, like with the eel actually. So the rack's going to be going over there, and over here, I don't know what I want to do yet. I might put a sofa, not sofa, but like a nice little lounging chair or something with a table. In case I've had a long day at work, I kind of want to hang out. This wall, well, not the wall, but the garage door is not going to be used. Now, I'm trying to figure out if I can build a tank stand here. Because if you think about it, now, these windows, not the windows, but like these things right here. Let me try and get my tape measure out for you. These like little gaps, I think they're about, 4 foot, roughly. Maybe they're like 3.5. So these are 3.5. Now, if you think about it, if I actually was to make a tank stand for this to kind of close it off, but not, you know, close it off completely, it would look kind of decent. You know, I mean, could you imagine if I did like a ginormous stack of 8 of whatever tank is 3.5 foot wide? I see here, let's see if these 50s. So these 50s are 3 foot. So I think a 75 would actually look pretty decent. So maybe I will end up building a tank stand here where I can do 4 75s. Obviously the bottom one right here, obviously this wouldn't be the tank. This one, and this one, and this one, they will be the tanks. So I thought that would be kind of cool. That way I can have more fish in one room and use the space to my advantage. But I'm going to get cracking on the rest of these. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead, like it, let me know what you think. If you don't like it, let me know what you don't like about it. Give me a thumbs down. Just let me know some improvements that I can make that will make you, tune in more and appreciate my build. So I appreciate you guys. Have a good day. Got some bad news, but obviously news that we can't fix. So I guess I thought I ordered way more than I thought I needed. It turns out I didn't. I bought like 200, and it just blows my mind that there's already 200 soundproof panels, on this roof. I don't know. It was insane. Like all my boxes are empty. I've got none left. So now, while we wait for more of these guys to come, I guess I'm actually gonna have to just continue putting this up. This is obviously what I have been doing. I've just been nailing this stuff to the wall. There's gaps and stuff in the middle, but there's one way that I did actually make a solution for that. So obviously some of these boards aren't straight. You can kind of see the plastic that is over the insulation. I actually ended up just kind of putting like, mixed pieces of like wood over those gaps to kind of give it more of a depth, because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on this wall anyway, so you're not really going to see that much. But I'm a perfectionist kind of to an extent. This obviously isn't perfection, and that's not to perfection, but it's stuff that I couldn't avoid. So I'm going to have to obviously chop up more pallets and then add, like the 2 little 3-inch wooden pallet boards over the cracks and stuff like that. It started out when I was doing this wall, it started out relatively decent. Like there wasn't hardly really any gaps. And then I started to kind of put these over here so it wouldn't look so silly, because over here we have a bunch, because this wall's made out of like 3 different pallets, but they were almost kind of the same size. I mean, if you look at this pallet board, it's a lot thicker, and then the one next to it's kind of like a little bit smaller. So I'm trying to add more wood to the wall to kind of make it look like there isn't gaps, but you guys know there are gaps because I just told you. But on this wall, this probably took me, I don't know, like 20 minutes, just nail gunning, bap, 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 and then it's done. Obviously right there, you see there's a gap, but obviously we will cover that up with the smaller boards. These boards, sorry, these are actually the smaller ones. I'm gonna have to cut around this, because if you look at it from this side, obviously it hangs over. We're gonna try our best to get my Sawzall and kind of just cut flush with it. And then I might just go ahead and get some like black trim or something that goes with the floor, goes with the tank stand. You know, I'm gonna try and do just like a border around it so it doesn't look that rough. The same goes for the window and then the other door. So over here, the wood actually kind of came almost flush with it. But I'm still going to go ahead and put something on the inside here so it boxes it in so you don't see that. I'm trying to make it look as good as I can without breaking the bank, hence this whole build. I mean, personally, I feel like it looks fantastic right now. I mean, the wall is just 3 pallets. And it gives this room such an awesome feel when you walk in. And I can't wait to get the roof done. I'm going to get cracking on with this. Hopefully the next time we tune in, we have got it to the halfway point to where we can start adding the grass on this side. I'm done. I know every time I do like a new clip here, I'm like, I'm done, and I end up not being done. So I lied. I'm not done completely with this wall. I am in fact done with the window trim, the grass in the center window, and then I'm working on the door frame right now. I just wanted to show you guys how far I've come since the last time we just kind of switched the camera around. So I'm going to start burning. I just wanted to show you this real quick. So what I meant by when I'm adding the trim, as you can see, it's not exactly like the straightest. So obviously I'm going to get some more deck board, and I'm going to put deck board here and then obviously trim it so it's the same size. So you won't actually see any of the edges as far as like, you know, the trimmed pieces go. Now, if you're wondering how I burn stuff, I mean, anyone can do this, like anyone. It seems hard, but it's really not. Personally, for me, is I like to do the tip of the flame, because if you don't do the tip of the flame and you do this, it immediately goes dark. And you don't want that. Like, you want to gently get the edge of the tip, and you kind of just want to go up and down, especially like on like the trim pieces here. Like, you can kind of see like the dark forming right now. That is exactly what you want. You don't want to go overkill, but you want to follow, like, I don't know what it's called, maybe like the grain of the wood. That's how you get the stained look. Now be careful if you're doing this and there's something behind it that can catch light. You do not want that at all. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be going around giving it, like, you know, a different little look, because we don't like raw wood in the fish room itself. So I'm going to work on this, and then we will touch base here the moment I get done with everything. And when you're done, you should have a similar product to this. Now, the key of burning wood, especially like fresh wood like this, you've got to make sure that you like get heavy on the grain that you can see. Like if you was to look at a normal piece, like right here. So let me just put this up so you can see it. Now these lines are gonna burn way quicker than anything else on here, because that's the grain of the wood. So I threw that, but the grain of the wood's always gonna burn quicker and better, and that's how you get your little patterns in the wood itself. Now I went light on this because I have the grass there and I don't want to burn the grass. I had a screen window that I had to take out, but the sides and the top are all finished, and this one is classed done. Now, like I said before in the previous video with doing the epoxy on the walls, they all will get epoxy too. That's just, you know, my clarification that it's sealed and it's good to go. I still have a couple of like little areas here, like there, and I think right there, that I have to cover up with the smaller ones, but it's pretty much almost done. I mean, I just got to put insulation in those two walls. I got to do the roof like this. I can't obviously do the panels yet because the panels are on order, but the room is honestly almost done. Like, I'll give you a quick little tour here. obviously then this needs to get done. I gotta do something about this because this gets really hot and it just radiates heat. So I don't know if I can get the pink panther board and kind of cut panels out to put in there, and then maybe seal it up with like the same stuff that we used for the roof and stuff to see if it will kind of like reject some of the heat. But that's the side, that's the back wall, and then obviously this is the right wall. So I still have to get more grass for that. I used the different colored grass for the other side because this was actually perfect size just for this, and I think I do have enough grass to get this side done and then a little side down there. That is obviously that piece right there. That's the bad piece. We don't want to use that. It's too small. It's like maybe a 1.5 foot long. So I don't even know how that got there. But it is looking fantastic. It is just, it's looking great. I can't wait for it to be done. We got all the way over here though, remember, with our foam board. So we just got to wait for more to come in stock and then we're good to go. And then when this room is completely done, next step would be to put the drain in the floor, sink running water from the house out here in PEX, and then installing our PVC pipe that's going to feed all the tanks. But I don't think I'm going to do the PVC first. I think I'm going to at least get the water in here and stub it off, or get the sink in here and then obviously make sure that the main valve's off to it. When the tanks are all in place and all built, then we can start running the PVC pipe along the top. That's going to feed every single tank, as well as the air pump too. That's obviously all going to feed all of the tanks as well. I just found a steel. Now at your hardware store you can pick these up, okay? So I know what people are probably going to say. That's plastic. It's going to be terrible. Like, it's going to be wonky. Absolutely not. If you know what you're doing when it comes to weight capacity on all of your tanks, especially like a 5.5 gallon fish tank, filled, it's like literally 8 pounds. You know, I just stood on this, like, and I'm 200 pounds. It didn't even move. Now, it obviously is, it's wobbly, right? You know, because obviously there's no weight on it. You can also get some clips. Obviously, there's joists behind here. Luckily enough, these lined up to the joists in the wall. So I'm actually going to be going and getting some clamps so I can clamp each section to the wall. And then I'm going to stick a screw on the side of here that goes into the plastic legs, just so I know full well nothing is ever going to come out. So I ended up getting two. They were like 12 bucks each. You can't lie. Each shelf holds 100 pounds. And it's just, you can't beat it. So, you know, the back of the room actually looks quite, you know, pleasing. So my beta tanks are going to be going on this back wall. I would have liked to have at least one of them start on the second shelf and then go up. So I might actually have to build a platform, because I feel like putting a tank on this bottom one, it's going to be kind of a little bit, you know, crappy because it's really low. I might just use the bottom shelves of both fish tank stands as supplies, food, filtration, all of that stuff. I don't quite know yet. And then obviously my tanks are like 17 inches wide. They're only 5.5 gallons or 6 gallons, however you want to say it. So the plan is for that is putting a 5.5 gallon here, putting a diverter in the middle. So obviously you can have 2 betas per tank. Hopefully we can get a male and a female in the same tank so I can just remove it. Maybe they'll breed, maybe they'll lay eggs. That would be great. Obviously I've got enough room in this building to, you know, do some breeding and possibly sell some betas along the road. So it's coming together slowly. Like I said, these things are like a steal. Let me move this out the way. So I'm currently actually going to be working on getting the 55 in place. I actually measured the tank wrong, and I built the tank stand a little bit too wide here. Now, as you can see, this is sitting on the floor, and I maybe have like a 12-inch gap from obviously the top of the tank to the 2x8. Now, most of my supports are actually on the L legs. If I do this, most of my supports are on obviously these two, those two, the two in the back, and then the two over there. So I can actually go ahead and notch the 2x8 that's on the bottom, maybe halfway down, 4 inches, and then come across and then notch it again, or completely cut it out. I don't quite know what I want to do yet. I don't know if I want to waste that much wood and all the hard work that I did putting it together and then end up just kind of, you know, cutting a ginormous chunk out of the bottom of the stand. So I'm still trying to debate on what I want to do there. Like I said, I might notch it and then just kind of put like a couple of 2x8s in the center. Obviously one here, one here, one here. It's pretty much the same as the support underneath here. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, for 5 is down there. Might do the same on the bottom, just so it kind of gives it a little bit more strength, I guess, to holding all the glass and all the weight of the water. The 55s don't really weigh that much, so that's not my main concern. My main concern is the 125 that weighs like almost 1,000 pounds full. I know this tank stand will 100% withstand the weight of the 125 and the 55. I just want it to look decent, so I'm probably going to go ahead and just notch the bottom of the stand out so I can have at least, you know, 12 inches of clearance, or maybe 10, because you got to get your your cleaner in there and your vacuum and all that kind of stuff. Excuse you. Hello? That's rude. My dog. My little puppy's a pain. So that's the plan. That's what it looks like. I think the betas beside the big main attraction is going to look absolutely awesome. And then at some point, I actually might put some betas up on the wall. Probably do like a racking system. You know, it's just 8 pounds is nothing. Like, you could literally fill up 3 beta tanks at 5.5 gallons, stack them on top of each other, and carry them. Like, it doesn't even exceed 45 pounds. And these joists will obviously hold more than that, because I know they will, because I built it. So the studs are probably going to get drilled into at some point, and I might add like a DIY shelf. Maybe get some really pretty, like red, white, and blue betas and put them above the Arowana tank, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm in America, red, white, and blue, right? I'm British, red, white, and blue. So that's my plan, is I think I might do a red, white, and blue tank above it with some red, white, and blue, you know, beta fish. So that's my update so far. I don't know, I forgot, I don't know if I showed you guys the finishing product of the framing of the window and the framing of the door. Honestly, from this point to this corner is done. From this point to this is done. Like I said, the previous video, I still have to add the grass in here and then put the insulation on the side and then add that. But I just wanted to show you the progress of the back of the wall. I think it's going to look fantastic. So I'm going to go grab the tanks. I'm going to set them on there. And I hope you guys like the way it looks, because I hope it looks good. It is very hot in this barn. I'm thinking it's probably, at least 90? Oh, it's not. It's like 80. And then obviously that is bad right there. We kind of need that like in the 50 range. But I think when we get the humidifier and the AC it will put in, I'm pretty sure then we'll be fine. And that will be comfortable, like wet or whatever it is, or ideal. So it's done. My tank, the ladies' tank, on the same racking system. As you know, I left the wood exposed because I think it looks best. That tank's really not even resting on that 2x4 in the front, because obviously I put the supports in there where you can see them. As far as this goes, like, this is brand new. This is pre-owned, and obviously you can tell what tanks are brand new. Like, we've pretty much got all brand new tanks. I think the only pre-owned ones are my 125, my 250s, and a 90 out there, which I'm probably not going to use. We've got a lot of stuff that's kind of just like, you know, here in the tank. I do need to clean these badly, and I feel really bad because it's just heavy. This tank's very heavy to move around, and I probably should have waited until like the end of the build until I did all of this. But as far as like cleaning goes, I think I'm just gonna go in there with like a sponge or something, and some vinegar, and clean all the sawdust and everything. Obviously I'll vacuum it out first, and then get my little blowtorch, or not my blowtorch, but my little blow cannon on the air compressor, and I'll just blow everything out. And then I'll stick a filter in there that I'm not using. I think it's just gonna be one of those like well ones or small ones you can just put in there. I'll clean it and just have everything kind of like shoot out, and then I'll put water in it, put the filter all on it, and then everything else, and then Bob's your uncle. It's done. But I'm super stoked with this. I did have to cut, I don't even know where the piece is, but that's a lot of wood. I had to cut out all of this to get the 55 to fit under there, to the point like where you can, you know, stick a gravel vac sideways, you know, like sideways, and then stick your hand in and kind of vacuum. So I do believe the eel's not really going to be like, you know, having their water level up here. I know my Arowana won't be. My Arowana will probably be like down to here, because it doesn't need a full tank. If it gets all the way up here, then obviously he's more than likely to jump. And we're going to try and minimize that as much as we can, because I've had experiences in the past where I've actually lost my prize Arowana. He was about 1.5 feet long. And he ended up jumping out the tank when I was on vacation. It sucked. I came back to him not in the tank. He was actually on the floor. I buried him. I cried, you know. But anyway, the plan is to have this tank almost probably 3/4 full, like probably like maybe like right here, just above halfway. And for people who are probably thinking, well, that's not enough water for the Arowana, trust me, it's enough for the Arowana. Like, they don't need a full tank. I've seen them in half tanks before. It just minimizes their jumping. Either way, they're gonna jump the Arowana, but if we can minimize the, you know, that would be great. I'm gonna be making a lid for this that's like kind of made out of almost like aluminum. And then I'll have my lights in individual locations, because the last Arowana I had jumped out. He broke like my plastic, and I don't want it to happen again. So I'll be putting cameras in here too. So it's not like I won't be able to see what's going on. I'm going to make sure I've got cameras facing all of the racks. Like, I'll probably have one like maybe up here, like facing all of this on the back wall. I'm going to put my motion on extra high just in case, because I don't want him to jump out. So that's the plan for that one. And then the eel will probably get a little bit more water in there, because they don't really jump that much as far as I know. So that's what's been going on, man. I've just been trying to get this tank stand built, and I'm super stoked of how it turned out. Next on the list is getting my 90 gallons ordered, my 75 gallon ordered. I was going to put the 450s on this wall. I think I'm going to do 3 75s here, or maybe 4 75s that I kind of stacked like from like this point up. And then I'll find joists. I'm gonna like bolt them to, I'm gonna bolt these stands to the wall itself, so they are completely structural. And then I think over here I might do a couple of like 290s or something like that, sink in the middle, and then 55s over here. But it could change. It's changed like a bajillion since I started this project anyway. So the next update will be getting these put in. They haven't got here yet. They should be here soon. And then those will probably be here like in the next couple of days. So I'm out. Appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. If you don't like it, just let me know. Dislike it. And let me know what I can do to improve my videos here on this channel. So have a beautiful day.